Well, this is Wetbag, and I'm here with Robert Longstreet. Now, I heard that one time you tickled a girl so hard that she shit her pants, and then she got so mad at you that she beat you up and sat on you with her shitty pants and wouldn't get up.
Yes.
All right, we're here to talk about your new TV series, The Midnight Club. I hear you play the janitor in 2 episodes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, I also found out that you were in a movie with Christy Swanson back in 1994.
That is also correct.
That's great. Robert Longstreet here in the studio, Wetbag. Great to talk to you.
Thanks, Wetbag.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing filmographies.
Did you see Robert Longstreet was here earlier?
Yeah, I heard. The guy will not shut up.
I know. He talks about himself a lot.
He does.
Jules, I want to talk to you about something very important tonight.
Okay.
Matlock. Do you have any feelings about Matlock?
You know, so my mom loved Andy Griffith.
Yeah.
Right. I grew up with that damn show and theme song.
It's whistling, right?
All over the place. Yeah. I mean, you know. And as much as she loved Andy Griffith, she never cared to watch Matlock.
But it's got that groovy theme song.
Well, and it's especially odd because she loved murder and murder mysteries. So you'd think Ange and murder, it would sort of come hand in hand, but she never cared for it. So I never watched it. I knew of it.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like the male genital counterpart to Murder, She Wrote.
Male genital counterpart, did you say?
Yeah.
I also was likening it to Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah,
Perry Mason.
I had no idea that Clarence Gilliard Jr. was on there.
From Walker, Texas Ranger?
Exactly.
'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you.
So
He wasn't in either of the episodes we watched, was he?
No, he wasn't.
He did.
He died just recently.
Yeah.
You know, and quite a few people mourned.
Right. I hit him with my car,
Mm-hmm.
and I got out of there fast.
You did, and I shut the fuck up about it.
Thank you. That's a good friend. I was also aware of Matlock.
Yeah.
I think old people in my family watched it.
Was it CBS?
I think it had to have been a
Has to
CBS
be.
show.
Has to be, yeah.
And it went 9 seasons?
Gosh, I don't know. So, I mean, did you look into that at all? The PI episode?
Dude, I was so mad after about 20 minutes. Okay, so I watched 20 minutes of it, and I was like, I don't want to watch anymore of this. I'll watch the rest tomorrow. And when I started it up the next day, after a few minutes, I said, you know what? I don't think Matlock's coming back. This isn't a Matlock episode. And I was so mad. I was like pretty excited about the last episode. I was like, I mean, Matlock, it's full of a bunch of filler and shit. But at its heart, it's a pretty good murder mystery.
Yeah.
It does a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did actually write some synopses for these, but it's not really necessary if you don't really want to.
No, I want to do them. I read them.
Okay. I figure we just cover them simultaneously, or did you want to run through them?
I thought we'd run through them separately.
Okay. Well, let's start with The Class then.
The Class, 1993. After Ben Matlock, Ange Griffith speculates on the perfect murder in front of an impressionable student body law club. One of the students winds up missing in a case that bears a striking resemblance to Matlock's very own perfect murder dream scenario he's always going on about. Now Matlock and his investigator daughter, Leanne McIntyre, Bryn Thayer, have to work with the remaining members of the law club, all of whom are under suspicion as suspects in the possible murder, in order to try to get to the bottom of the case of the missing Eddie Price. Robert Longstreet. Season 7, Episode 6, The Class.
The Class. I kind of feel like both of these episodes are very odd episodes to just randomly hip yourself to the show with.
Yeah, this one ultimately ends up being pretty frustrating, but...
Because I just assume, you know, he's like doing law stuff in court.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
But they're investigating, like, the murder.
But is he a defense attorney? I think he said in this one, I had to argue against this woman, and if I pressed too hard, I would have lost the jury, you know, but sometimes when you're defending people, so I think he's a defense attorney.
I think he's the defense, and I think they're investigating it to try to figure out who really did it. Him and Clarence?
Normally it's Clarence?
I don't know.
Because his daughter is super fucking hot. She's pretty good looking.
She's
got a lot of personality.
She's 44 and looking great.
Yeah, she's got a lot of facial expression that I think really won me over.
Jenny and I were watching this, and I was like, is that his girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, he just said that was his daughter.
Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I was kind of under the impression that that's not normally what she does for some reason. But maybe she is just the investigator with him?
I have no idea. I think this used to be on, like, TBS in the middle of the day. Like, if you didn't go to school, it was on TBS.
Right. A couple hours before Monk.
It's jungle out there.
So, yeah. So, basically, he's just doing a favor to the school because he was asked to basically like just chit chat with the law club, up and coming prospective lawyers, and they're doing it in the courtroom. And this one hotshot just keeps pressing him about, whoa, what's a perfect murder?
Dude, this guy.
You know, what if they ain't got a body?
You get rid of the body and then try to frame somebody else.
Yeah, he's hammering that if the body's not there, you can't convict, right? Mm-hmm. Right? If the body goes missing, you got nothing, right? No, it's not true now.
Was that a red herring?
Yeah, I imagine so.
Because we don't really get to the actual bottom of things. We get a pretty plausible idea of what might have happened.
Yeah, it's weird that they don't finish it off for us.
Yeah, because initially it seems like they're really setting Don up.
Which one's Don?
Don's the actor. He's the one asking, I think, all about all of the murder stuff.
Oh, with the dumb hair. The rich kid.
The rich kid. Well, is he rich? Because he's just with a rich girl, right?
Oh, true. Oh, that's pretty wild.
He's paying him $4,000 a month.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
I would do that now.
Oh, absolutely. She was good looking.
She's fine.
I mean, she wasn't terrible.
No.
That's good looking to me.
That guy did not do a lot of stuff.
Mm-mm.
He wrote and directed his own movie.
Oh.
Here, I'm going to tell you the name of it real quick. Because it's on the short list of other things that we should probably watch, because nobody else will probably ever talk about it ever.
Because I don't recognize really any of these kids, but they kind of seem like they could possibly have gone on to do things.
Right.
That I'm familiar with.
Enchanted, 1998, not rated. A man has all the answers when it comes to giving advice to friends, but when it comes to his own life, he is lost. Sidney Penny, John Ward, David Kaufman.
Oh.
I know, the main character, the nerdier guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen him in lots of stuff.
Same here.
But I couldn't really peg what it would be from.
I couldn't either, and it was really frustrating.
I feel like there was a lot of handsome-itis going around on these videos we watched here.
You think so?
I think that guy's cute. I don't know. He's not like a hunk. He's cute. And that main character in Getting In,
mm-hmm.
I was like, this guy's pretty good looking.
Super annoying though.
Yeah, everybody sucks. He
was like Bradley whatever from Hunk. Just
Bradley Brinkman?
Bradley fucking Brinkman. Oh, he was in a show called The Class.
Is it called The Class
in
or
2007.
Class? Yeah, I like that show. It ran one season. John Barenthal. That's like the first place anybody saw him.
But anyway, so Matlock's like, yeah, this is how you do it. And then
one of the girls is like,
well, have you ever heard of anyone that made a knife out of ice and then melted the murder weapon?
No.
Ice knife, baby.
I think, isn't that like a classic murder scenario from an Agatha Christie thing or something?
Or like ice bullets, whatever the fuck. Hang a guy from a block of ice, and then it melts and he slowly strangles all that shit.
Yeah, the ice rope too around his neck.
So then the kids go to the local eatery. And they run into Eddie Price, Robert Longstreet's character. He's known as the guy who steals other guys' girlfriends.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
But the girl that Kaufman's character is trying to romance, she left him to be with this guy? She left Eddie to be with Kaufman's character? Or she just left Eddie? Because he goes, hey, baby, why aren't we dating? And she goes, no, I don't want to. And he goes,
it's over? We're over? After 6 months? No. We had a fight. Who doesn't fight? But it's not over.
And then the nerdy guy goes, hey!
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Why don't you just get out of her way? Hey, look, guys. It talks.
And he just picks him up, sits him on a table, grabs a pitcher of beer and pours it on his head.
Like he's a little baby.
Yeah.
Like a bad child was misbehaving and you had to set them in their time out. Pours that beer on his head like he's a little
bitch. In front
of
everybody.
It's so emasculating. It's crazy.
Well, and then the girl that he likes, she comes over to him like, Kenny or whatever, and don't touch me! And he runs away. Like a little lady.
A little piss
bird.
Baby.
And then we see Don, I believe, and the other guy like, oh, this looks like an opportunity for a murder. Oh, yeah. So then Eddie, we see him working on his car, and somebody comes up POV style. Hey, what the hell are you doing here? And then his roommate comes out the next day, and Eddie's not there.
There's some blood on the ground and like a broken beer bottle.
Yep, a broken beer bottle. So he goes, Eddie, and he starts getting panicked. He runs inside and I guess calls the cop. And then the next time we see Matlock, like literally the next scene, 5 days have gone by apparently.
I thought that he was going to get that car dropped on him, and that was going to kill him.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it did. We didn't get to see, and
True.
We don't know what happened.
Well, he kind of slid out.
Yeah,
that would have been the perfect.
Maybe he slid him right back under.
Just knock that car on him. Yeah,
but they got to get rid of the body because that's the setup.
Yeah, it's so stupid. So then the teacher, principal guy, or whatever.
Stupid or the perfect murder, dude. Ben Matlock said.
That's true. There you go. he goes, hey, Ben, there's a murder, possibly. A kid's missing.
I hear you were giving kids all sorts of ideas on how to kill people.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect way to do some murdering.
Wait a minute. I'm talking to these freshmen on criminal law. We talk about murder, crimes of all kinds.
Are you implicating me in this murder? No, I'm not. I'm out. And he leaves. And then he goes home and he's just shucksing, on the couch with his little guitar. And that's when his daughter's like, what happened? And he goes, well, I put my foot in it this time. He says that twice. I fucking told some kids how to murder somebody and they did it. Finally it happened. And so she goes, well, we're going to go down there and we're going to straighten this out in the morning.
Finally, some of them kids took the bait. Let's see what happens.
And so they go down there, and she's like, all right, now everybody, this murder may or may not have happened. You're all suspects, and you've besmirched my father's name. I don't know if it's good, but and they go, oh, is that true, Ben? And he goes, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he barely talks. No, it's weird.
She's just in mama mode, and he's a little baby cub. And so they're like, well, what are we going to do? And she goes, well, you're going to go around and you're going to ask people about this scenario and see if you can come up with some clues. Because if you're not guilty, it behooves you to help us. And they're like, yeah, all right, cool. So it's going along. We're interacting with the kids. We're learning more things here and there. Matlock's not really doing a whole hell of a lot.
No.
Really. He doesn't seem like he's in jeopardy.
I think he lives for quite a while after the show ends, too. Another 20 years. So I don't know why he's tapping out on these 2 episodes we saw.
And he sounds like he's slurring his words a little bit. And I don't know if it's because he's old or if it's because he's a fall-down drunk.
I hear he used to sip on mineral oil, and it just, it gets his mouth sliding all around. So it sounds like he's slurring.
Mineral oil. I need some of that.
Let me tell you, watching this, I like to pretend that when she goes to interview these young men, and they're a little flirtatious towards her, she comes back later that night.
Bangs on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pegs them.
Yeah. Oh, puts them in their place?
And then breastfeeds them.
Fuck. I gotta be honest, that sounds pretty good, man. That sounds like a exhausting and exciting night.
Yeah.
All right.
One for the books, as they would say.
Yeah.
So, one kid's got an alibi that another kid can corroborate, but wait, maybe not. Maybe he didn't, and all this whatever. So, one of the kids, he goes, I was at the play the whole time, but he's wearing a Nixon mask. So they're like, well, how do you know it was even him? And this sugar mama is like, well, I gave him this bracelet for my birthday.
Yeah, how convenient.
So I can tell it's him. Like, you can't just put that on another dummy.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we get to the point where Matlock's got what he assumes is a plausible theory. He's interacting with one of the kids and sees her car pedal on the car that she could have sworn she parked in one spot, but it wasn't there when they came out of the library and such. So he calls everybody in and he goes, now I'm going to build a case here. Right, I'm going to show you how it's done.
Look at this varnish.
Yeah, I took
on her pedal.
I took her gas pedal off of her car.
Just took it right off of there
while she was driving.
Yeah,
hell of a time stopping.
She did.
And hey, you brown hair guy, what do you think this is? You say this is varnish? I don't know, maybe, sure, whatever. And he goes, hey, I got your running shoes here too. And he goes, wow, how'd you get my shoes? He goes, well, I borrowed them. And it's also got varnish on it. And your dad had varnished his boat, and it was between the hours of like nighttime and morning.
He said it would have dried after 6 hours, which means you had to have been there between 5 and midnight.
You were also dating this girl whose car mysteriously moved and happened to have a key.
Used to date her and still had the key.
Used to date her. She gave him the key while they were dating, I'm presuming. And then they broke up and she never got it back, like a Netflix password, right?
Do you give away keys to cars?
Not to people that I'm just kind of dating. When I will eventually break up with them because I don't want anything serious. That's what she said. No, I would not.
Okay.
I would barely let somebody drive my car, let alone give them a key.
I let you drive my car?
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't just borrow it to people. I mean, maybe you're pretty responsible, but I guess we're old now, so maybe it wouldn't be that big of a deal to lend it out.
Well, I don't know. It'd just be it would be a very specific scenario. My car isn't starting and I have to be somewhere, but I'm coming back here, And
you can't drive me. I don't want that.
Right. And exactly. So he's like, look, you used a boat. You took Eddie out on it, dead, presumably. How he got the body from the garage to the car, they didn't establish because one of the kids mentioned earlier.
He got carried across the long field.
And he put him on the boat and dropped him in the water, apparently. Came back, but upon returning to the library, he discovered that somebody else, of course, parked in this public spot. So he parked the car elsewhere.
Still remembered to move the seat back, I guess, because I'm sure they aren't the same height.
Mm-hmm. And that's why she couldn't find her car.
Did you drive Carol's car with Eddie's body to the boat that night?
You can't prove that I killed Eddie Price. Mr. Matlock, you can't prove that Eddie's dead.
And he goes, well, not really, because you ain't got a body. He goes, well, no, but if I'm making these conclusions, I can guarantee you the police are as well.
And they made the point earlier to be like, body's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
One day, a week, 50 years.
Yeah.
In eternity, it's going to show up.
Yeah, especially if you don't know how to, like, ballast a body.
Yeah, you got to really get some holes in that body and then plug it down. But then the fish eat it and parts break loose.
Yeah, you've got to really wrap it up, weigh it down, assuming he didn't go out any further than he felt comfortable going. It's probably just in the bay there somewhere. And so, you know, the episode ends and the daughter's just recapping. And
man, that Eddie Price is a fucker, but like, what? You killed him?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a psychopath just kills him?
Right, because he said she broke up with him, the guy, the killer guy, presumed killer, and he was upset, but, you know, he got over it, or those feelings went away, he said. Yeah, he still likes her, but the other guy, the guy that was kind of sort of being suggestively framed as the killer, or tangentially, coincidentally framed, because he had gotten the beer dumped on him, and we learned that there was some grant money or something, and he was in the running with Eddie, and Eddie got it. And it was rumored that he got it because he told the board that the other guy, the nerdy guy, cheated somehow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And they were furious, and there was a mild scuffle.
All right, now you got to kill him. It makes total sense now. But he's not the one that killed him.
No, and I thought Don maybe was the one who did it because he kind of just seemed like a sociopath.
But he's just banging away on Darla, that lady.
Exactly. And even invites, the woman, the daughter out to dinner when she's investigating.
So he's going to cheat on that $4,000 a month?
Mm-hmm.
How much money has that lady got that she's dishing out $4,000 a month in 1993?
Well, and she didn't seem any older than him.
She did.
No.
I thought she seemed like she was in her 30s.
I think that's perhaps what they were suggesting, but I don't know.
Everybody's got weird haircuts. It's
True.
the 90s.
And older people play younger people all the time back then.
That guy's hair is so bad. The like bowl cut thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're watching and you're like, oh, you're supposed to be kind of like a hot stud or something,
It's
man.
Like, what are you, Tony Hawk?
Yeah, but the hair is so bad and he's not particularly great. Like the nerdy guy is cuter than him.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of the guy from Weird Science, the movie.
Oh,
not the Michael Anthony Hall one. So that's the end of that episode.
What do you think about this show? This here Matlock.
You know, like I said, it feels like an unconventional episode because they're not in court.
Yeah.
And there's no resolution.
Right. I thought it was really bizarre that there was no resolution, but also kind of baller that they didn't tie it up all neat.
Very commendable. I was expecting you could tell your story and then the cops come in. Eddie or Johnny or whatever your name is, you're under arrest for the suspected, but no, they're just like, I don't know.
This is how it is. And then, it might be a while before they get him if they get him.
Yeah, whoever killed him will presumably just go on living, hopefully a better life with Eddie out of the picture, whatever that means.
I think everybody's benefiting from that.
Because it kind of seemed like it was just a murder of convenience, a desire to murder.
Let me get away with the perfect murder.
This presents itself, but no real solid premeditation.
This is a good murder mystery.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
A little bit boring of a show.
Yeah, it's a little folksy. There's two people in the credits that aren't in either episode.
Who?
Well, there's Terrence Gilliard Jr., and then there's the other guy, the white guy, who I don't know what he does, but he wasn't in the show, but he was in the credits. Daniel Roebuck.
Oh.
That guy.
Yeah, I know who Daniel. I don't even need to see a picture of him. Yeah. I feel like he's another attorney or something.
Like his face is in the thing. I hate they do it's a still image of their face on one half of the screen and then the moving picture version. And then their name pops up. It takes for fucking ever. It's like, this is uncomfortable shit.
Well, the episodes are 47 minutes back then. So, they got to fill up some of that time.
Speaking of, if the PI would have been a 23-minute show,
yeah,
I think it would have fared a little bit better in my book.
But here, wait. You're getting a little ahead of yourself.
Okay.
What is your rating on Matlock the show, the episode you saw?
I'm going to go with a 5.
I'm going to give it 5.5.
Okay.
It's not a 6.
No, I was going there, but yeah, it's not a 6.
It kind of made me want to watch more Matlock.
I'd be interested in starting from the beginning.
Yes, me a little too.
When he's slightly younger.
Yeah.
And maybe the show's got a little bit more vibrance. maybe. Who knows?
Okay, and on a score of will she give me kisses, what do you say about Matlock's daughter?
She would not give you kisses.
I think I agree. She would not give me kisses. I'd want them.
Yeah.
She's not going to give them to me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
What do you give Bobby?
Roberto Longstreet.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say he's actually kind of good in this.
I mean,
I think he's a good bully. He's a good presence.
Mm-hmm.
He's got not much in the way of scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's pretty good in them, man.
Yeah, he's fine.
For an episode of Matlock, I will give him a 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of great. I was really excited to see him.
With that.
I was happy to see him young. I liked it. It was really thrilling when I saw him. I was like, oh, there he is.
Do you think he was asked back?
I think he must just have been around where they were filming.
Because I know, like in this episode, the Kaufman actor, I think the nerdier kid, he was in an episode in season 6, maybe. It's a different character.
Do you know where they filmed this at all?
In North Carolina, but it's set in Georgia. It happened all the time on Columbo. Some dudes were like the bad guy in 2 different episodes, 2 different characters, So yeah, back then you'd see a lot of people bouncing around, but he comes back with a little bit meatier of a role.
You think so? You think the next role's better? More?
He has far more lines.
But I feel like he's the absolute focus of the scenes he's in this
absolutely.
episode.
But I mean, he gets to touch Jonathan Banks, gets a little bit of business, and he speaks predominantly. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know.
I thought he was better in this. Yeah, so I give him 100 out of 7. I think that's what I said.
Yeah.
And is that a wrap? What did you give him for your score?
I give him a 7.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mr. Matlock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on to the next Matlock.
Yeah, from season 8.
Season 8, episode 19,
Mm-hmm.
The PI.
Getting close to the end of the episode run there. So, first off, the lady in here.
Father Dowling.
Yeah, she dated George Costanza.
I was trying to figure out what she did in Seinfeld, and I just kept picturing her as dating Jerry as Jerry, but that's Janine Garofalo's character that I'm thinking of.
She was dating George, and everybody said she looked like Jerry.
She does.
And so she comes out one night, she had a short haircut and has on a button-up blue dress shirt, and George just loses his mind. What's her name? Tracy Nelson. I thought she was actually looking pretty cute in here.
Yeah, she's cute. Are you not aware of Father Dowling either?
I'm familiar with it, but I never watched it. The Keebler Elf guy.
Yeah. So Father Dowling it was only on for like 2 years. It didn't even have that many episodes. It used to re-air for years on the Family Channel. Before it was Fox Family, it was called The Family Channel.
Sure. And now it's ABC Family?
Possibly.
Yeah.
And I think it ran from like 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time. Like it was 2 episodes back to back. So I was very familiar with Father Dowling. I don't know how many of those I actually watched, but it would always be on. She's cute as a nun, too. She's cute. She's kind of crazy looking when you really zone in.
A little bit.
But she's cute.
So you want to do the synopsis?
She has been acting steadily since then.
Sure.
She's been in like nothing you've ever heard of, I feel like, after this.
Oh, sure. There's so many TV shows out there.
Well, in like bad movies, but it's wild to me. You'd be like, oh, I guess she retired. And it's like, no, she's been in 15 things a year for the last 30 years.
Why would you guess she retired?
Because I never saw her again.
Well, but you watch Good Things.
That's true. That's true.
Debatable, but...
Right, I was going to say, I don't think Jenny agrees with that. Move over, Ben Matlock, you sack of shit. There's a new old man sticking his nose in shit in town. Fuck, I fucked it up by saying shit ahead of your shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Too late now?
When friend of the Matlock family, Jessie Morgan, Tracy Nelson, moves to L.A. to attend art school, she begrudgingly tracks down her dirtbag estranged father, Max Morgan, George Peppard, after she winds up broke with no place to stay after having been grifted by her supposed new roommate. While investigating a simple case involving a cheating ex-wife, the two Morgans get embroiled in a real whodunit when their client, Oscar Treadwell, Bob Dishy, is framed for his ex-wife's murder. A new wrinkle, she's killed with an icicle. A new wrinkle appears when a clue points to the involvement of a Hollywood schlock director, Jack Starling, Jonathan Banks, who just happens to have an up-and-coming assistant director, Bradford, Robert Longstreet. Although that last part bears no importance to the overall plot. Now, it's funny because at this point, Jonathan Banks, we know him.
Could have shut your mouth, Cook, and made as much money as you ever needed. It was perfect. But no, you just had to blow it up.
And when you first see him in the episode, you go, that's Jonathan Banks.
Yeah. I even saw his name in the credits and it didn't even register. And then I saw him, I was like, oh, Johnny B.
Why is he killing that lady? Who is George Peppard? I know that name.
So George Peppard.
Oh, shit. You got some info?
Well, a little bit. He was on A-Team.
Oh, is that why I know his
He was
name?
the original Liam Neeson.
Okay. He's Liam Neeson's dad then in real life, you're saying?
But he's been in Hollywood forever.
Liam Neeson's like really big. That must have really hurt his penis when he came out.
Now, I mean, he's been around. He's in all sorts of shit. But, so this was intended to be the spin-off of Matlock.
They really were doing. I mean,
The PI was going to be the name of the show.
I knew it watching this after I figured out what was happening with this goddamn show.
It's unclear if her character had existed before, on episodes before this one.
It seems like she did, but I don't think so.
It's hard to say.
I think they were like, let's put her in another murder mystery show after Father Dowling went off the air.
Because they basically just tacked Matlock on. They were like, well, get Ange in the beginning there so we can just say it's a Matlock, and then...
It's the same thing as that god-awful Miami Vice episode we watched with Keith Gordon. It's like you spend 1 minute with Crockett and Tubbs, and then it's Miami Vice, the new class.
I mean, they did this a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
But...
Backdoor pilot.
Here's the thing. This episode first aired on March 3rd of 1994. George Peppard died on May 8th of 1994, 2 months later after it aired, which is why the show wasn't picked up.
Were they going to maybe do it?
They were absolutely going to do it.
Why? I found these two had like no charisma. I hated this.
You know, that's the thing about George Peppard. I think he's been around forever, but it can be said that he's perhaps done a number of things that weren't really his speed, and it's unclear how he wound up in them. And I kind of feel like this is one of them.
This is boring like O'Hara.
That's what I mean. Like, if they would have cut it down by like 30 minutes, get it down to that half hour.
Yeah, they're pulling that whole trying to suck us in with family drama and being like, hey, do you got some big feelings for these two characters? Listen to them talk about their lives and get your big feelings rolling. If that shit doesn't work, it's all filler garbage.
Yes.
And you guys, again, this is a murder mystery show.
Well, and also, so the show starts, Matlock, she's leaving to go to L.A., and Matlock's like, maybe you'll stay here. You want to do these or no?
Yeah, it goes well with wine, right? Why are there two different colors?
Well, because I assume they're all the same. So I was like, let me just get two of those. One's sour berry, one's blue raspberry.
Sour berry?
Uh-huh. That's why I got it. I was like, well, we've been drinking sour.
We're sour boys. Are we the sour boys? Why is that not the name of this podcast?
It is now. I'm going to go back and re-edit every episode.
Tune into the Sour Boys.
Pew, pew, pew. He's like, yeah, your mama wants you to stay, and she's super rich.
Oh, this is like 99 bananas.
I guess.
But it's blue raspberries.
I have no idea what that is. All right, Shooter. Bottoms up.
Dude, look at yourself in the mirror and go, get it. Get it.
You done good. We're closed. I was thinking of a joke the other day.
Yeah.
What do you call an English person that's short in stature? Little Brit. Little Brit.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's very specific.
So he's like, hey, look, if you stay home, your rich mama is going to take care of you.
But if you leave, she'll cut you off without a thin dime.
I know. Thanks, Ben, but I want to be on my own.
She goes, well, I don't want that. I want to go to L.A. to do art school.
I'm a bird, and I need to fly in the sky.
Yeah, and she goes, I have already sent my rent money to my roommate. And he goes, well, here's the address to your daddy. She goes, I don't want that shit.
He's a piece of shit.
You know? And
he left them? He abandoned them?
It's never clear.
He's a drunk? Am I supposed to leave my family now?
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
But he tucks it in her pocket anyways, and she goes, okay, well, I'm leaving. And she gets to L.A.
Don't put your fucking hands on me, Matlock.
So the next...
Is that what she says? We don't do that.
Get your goddamn dirty ape hands off of me.
Oh, what? Hey, it's just me. It's me, Ange.
Yeah. Is this woman bothering you? That's my...
You want me to shoot her and we'll just put a gun in her hand?
If you make the body disappear.
Let's kill her with an icicle. No fingerprints.
So the next thing we see is George Peppard pulling up to his bungalow in a convertible, and he notices like a Volkswagen parked on his front of his house. So he grabs his mail. He rifles through it, and there's a garbage can right there. He just throws it in there.
Don't do that?
Yeah, shred your mail.
You shred your mail?
I burn my mail.
No, you don't. Do you really shred it?
No, but I wouldn't just throw it into an open bin on my yard.
I mean, it's very unlikely anybody's going to go. Like, I mean, so at the old apartment building I lived at in Stevens Community, there was a bin right next to the mailboxes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, every apartment has that.
Right, because otherwise people probably just toss their junk mail on the ground. I wouldn't want to throw away any identifying shit there. But.
Man, I saw a news report. There's a building on the corner of 3rd and Franklin, right across from the BP there. Apparently some vagrants have found their way in.
Oh.
And have like smashed through a wall in the basement and are like camping in there. And they're like harassing the people that live there. They're like pooping on the walls.
I'm sure. I don't think they're probably pooping on the walls.
No, they showed shit. Somebody had fired a log and it was smeared down.
Right. They probably smear it on there. But I don't. You think they bend over and fucking fire it like a missile at the wall?
You don't? How does this guy poop? That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, I know there is some pressure behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every now and then.
You've never seen a exploded ass in a in a bathroom stall? And somebody's just ass blasted the wall of the partition? You never seen that?
I've seen pictures of it on the internet. I've never run into it in real life.
That's the question.
Well, I think it's usually when there's old people around. I think it's often old people that just explode.
I guess. So Judge Papard goes up to his house and he sees somebody camping on the bench outside his front door. Hey, get out of here. I guess the Great Depression or something, and people are just prone to sleeping on benches. This is fucking me up.
This is pretty good, actually.
I'm trying to like play it off, but I'm fucking lit off that shit.
that blue.
I had a hearty dinner too.
I ate a bunch of pizza. That blue raspberry just kind of filled my mouth. And
you had the blue raspberry, yeah.
The rubbing alcohol flavor never really hit me.
It was a little predominant in this, but boy, I'm rocked. This is wino shit.
Okay, so George Peppard.
So basically, it's his daughter. She comes walking into his house, and it's just a shithole.
She kind of looks like the Shadow. You remember the Shadow?
Oh God, yeah. Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, the long nose though.
When he was the Shadow.
Yeah, when he's actually the Shadow, and it's not really him.
Yeah,
it's like that's her.
And she's looking around like, your place is a shit. He goes, well, I didn't invite you in. The hell? And she goes, I'm your daughter. He goes,
you got any ID?
Because obviously her driver's license says George Peppard's daughter. And he goes, damn, you grew up, you know?
I better put some icicles in my undies to bring this thing down. It doesn't understand that you're my child.
I mean, even if you are, it's still kind of...
I didn't raise you.
And so she goes, well, I need a place to stay because the person that I sent the money to actually wasn't legit.
You know, they say that family members that weren't raised together sometimes find themselves wildly attracted to each other when they naturally run into each other in the wild.
A family that prays together.
Okay.
I don't understand. So her mother is rich. Like, how does he fit into the picture?
Dr. Peppard?
Yeah.
Well, him and his 23 flavors, I guess he escaped once she got pregnant?
I guess. No. Well, maybe. So he goes, yeah, that's fine or whatever. And she brings in her art sculpture, which got her into the college.
I don't remember her sculpture. What is it of?
It's a wire-framed. It almost feels like those, they have those things that people put on their walls that are wires, but then there's like clips for photos.
Yeah. That's her thing?
It kind of felt like that molded into an orb shape.
Oh.
I think it was supposed to be a joke.
Wireball?
Because Peppard goes, oh yeah, that's fine art right there.
That's a modern art dig.
So his client...
You're making those videos of a wall?
His client shows up. Bob Dishy. I cannot place him. So he goes, hey, George Peppard.
It's me, Bob Dishy.
It's me, Bob Dishy, playing a character that knows your character that you're playing on this TV show. Have you found any dirt on my wife? Because he's getting divorced and he's paying alimony, but he suspects that she's philandering. So he needs him to prove that she's philandering so he no longer has to pay alimony.
Okay.
So basically what happens is she's living with George Peppard. He hires her as his investigator because he doesn't want to do it. But he also owes money to bookies all over town because he's an idiot.
Who just like show up and follow him around and shit.
Yep. So she's, oh God, this is so stupid. She's literally hiding in a bush outside of this person's house, taking pictures. The mailman shows up. She takes pictures of that. She lays in the dirt.
Eggs? Okay.
and takes pictures of a cat. And then another man shows up in a trench coat and she takes pictures of him from behind.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So she runs out. She runs around the house. She's taking pictures through a hole in the wall of the fence or whatever. And he's in a trench coat and such, and they're just making out. And as she's changing the film, while he's grinding on her buttocks, he takes out a rope and he
a sword
strangles her.
Cuts off her head
as she smokes crack.
Showdown in Little Tokyo.
It was meth. It was glass.
Yeah. It was crack lock. And
we should do that. Can we? They'll never let us.
No. So apparently he strangles her like really quick because then he gets into the car and drives away and smashes into another car.
Do you not know that you can strangle somebody in
really quick
3 seconds?
Yeah, it's
just
instantaneous.
Boom. Yeah.
They see the rope and they just die. So she takes a picture of the license plate and submits it to the cops. And they're like, thanks for doing that, you super sleuth.
Fuck, you solved it.
We're locking up David Twohy. What is his name?
No, Bob Dishy.
Bob Dishy. David Twohy. He directed the Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black. And they're like, she goes, what? No.
It was obviously Jonathan Banks.
Right? Haven't you never seen Better Call Saul?
What about that Better Call Saul episode with
where he's in the booth?
He kills the cops that killed his son.
Remember?
This is the best episode.
I never saw that one. Thanks for ruining for me.
Better than Breaking Bad, that one episode.
Yeah, and so
Mike Ehrmantraut.
Now they're like, okay, we better go look at his car. And he uses the phone on the car and it calls Jack Starling or somebody Starling. He goes, oh, that's interesting. I just called the film director who directs like Death Bananas 6 and Dishwasher Fluid 7, you know.
That one sounds made up, Jules. I don't think that's a movie.
We better go pay him a visit, right? So they go to the lady's house who was killed, and the daughter mentions that the man seeing her must be married because married men do this when they're having an affair. And he goes, oh, I don't like the sound of that, you know.
Yeah.
And they find a cufflink with the letter J on it. And it says, thanks for whatever, 1983 or whatever. So they're like, well, that might be Jack Starling. You know, we better go to his house. And so they park outside of his house. And he goes, well, how the hell are we going to get in? And she goes, well, I'll just go in and pretend I'm a florist. So she grabs some flowers and goes into the house. And then she just goes up to like an office or whatever. And she's rifling through drawers. And Jack Starling's wife comes in like, hello. And the camera like holds on her and stings as it goes to commercial and comes back and she comes out and she's like, I got caught. He goes, that figures. And she goes, well, I managed to play it off though. It's not, what happened isn't exactly what we showed before we went to commercial, but I complimented her dress.
She can't say no to a compliment.
You know, and then we get to talking and she invited us to a party tonight for like no reason.
That's awesome, dude. Hey, you and me? I think we should start breaking into houses and see if we get to go to some cool parties.
Yeah, you'll invite us back later for a party.
Nice houses, too.
Nicest.
Not these dumps around here.
No. And so they get dolled up and they go to the party and George Peppard starts bogarting Jonathan Banks' time.
Yeah, he gloms onto him fast.
She goes up to their bedroom and all of a sudden his chauffeur, bodyguard guy comes in and she hides on the balcony and then Starling's wife comes in and they start making out, but she kicks a flower pot and then she hangs over the edge and they go, oh, it must be nothing. And she closes the door and they start making out in front of the open window. Like anybody can see you.
That's what they like.
You idiots. You know?
It's hot. Catch us.
So George Peppard is talking to the Starling guy and he goes, oh, I happen to be working this case and I know about a cufflink that can link a guy or whatever. And I'll call you in the morning, right? So he calls him in the morning. Oh, no. So they get back to his house and it turns out that he is having sex with the female detective lady.
What?
She's in his bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
And she's all like,
is she hot and young too?
No, she's not hot and young. She's hot and not young.
Okay, because when they get back there, I was like, I don't know how old this lady is.
I bet you to guess she's in her late 30s, early 40s. Probably in her mid 40s.
Okay.
Because what the character is.
You know, we're old, so like hot and young is 30s
George
now.
Peppard was 60. So
yeah, he's old as shit. This is like...
he's a septuagenarian.
Fucking lonely lady when that guy was like 65. When that old guy was railing...
yeah.
What is her name? Pia Zadora.
Zadora.
She's like 15 and he's like 70.
Yeah.
I want to go to bed with him.
And so he goes to bed with her.
Uh-huh.
And then the daughter, she's in the room. And apparently this is the first time she opens up the closet because out comes tumbling 3 gifts
Memories.
that span her life that she never got with cards attached. A bear, a pound puppy, a little like train track or whatever.
Was it really a pound puppy?
It looked like a pound puppy.
Ho, 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 ho.
You know what I mean?
You know that cartoon? We're pound puppies and we want to go home with you.
You know.
You bring little shots over and then you make me drink them.
So she reads the card and he's like, oh, I love you, daughter. Your mom's a bitch, though, so she sent all these gifts back. And she sleeps with the pound puppy.
That's in the card?
So she wakes up the next day and she catches George Peppard making a deal with Jack Starling for him returning the cufflink for money. She goes, well, where are you going today, Dad? And he goes, oh, I'm just going out I got to talk to the guy. Don't worry about it. Really? And she
I got a gambling problem.
This is the part of the episode where everything fell apart for me.
Trying to get my hands on some uncut gems. Go ahead.
I lost all respect for this show.
Yeah?
And it lost all credibility for me at this very moment.
I hate this whole fucking thing. Please tell me what did it for you.
She decides to follow him to the set, right, to get a little bit of an ear grab of what's going on.
Wait. Can I guess?
Please do.
Is it when she's in the stunt car and
No,
the guy jumps out? Okay.
Well before that.
Oh.
She parks directly next to her father's car. In a car that we know he already knows belongs to her. So then, she's hiding. She's listening to them. They're making a deal. $100,000 for the cufflink. Meet me on set number 8 tonight, And she's hiding in the car that, goes driving through a barn door.
That's actually kind of a scary moment when he jumps out and she's like, hey.
That was a good scene. That was a very Monk scene.
What's going to happen to her is a monk. She's the Sharona.
You know how I found out that my ex was still seeing his old girlfriend?
Please, tell us.
A psychic told me. Now that's a true story, and it was the best $35 I ever spent.
$35?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, she grabs the cufflink. George Peppard's like, look, I'd lied to you because I don't want you involved in this. These guys are fucking dangerous. And she steals the cufflink and she goes to Studio 8 to meet Starling to do the thing.
54.
But she's got a tape recorder on her titty.
Yep.
That she's going to use to entrap him.
It's a fucking, hey, everybody, you're thinking tape recorder. Must be like a slim little recorder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, she got a full-size fucking Walkman in her front pocket. Breast pocket, yeah.
So she does the deal, and he goes, okay.
Now, if you'll give me the wire you're wearing.
Where?
I believe that's a tape recorder in your pocket.
Give me that fucking boombox you stuck up your shirt.
She goes, what? And he pulls out a gun, and he goes,
I guess we're breaking bad tonight.
Give me that tape, right? So he starts shooting at her.
Yeah.
And George Peppard is there.
He's pointing lights at him.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't see.
The old shadow trick. He's throwing his voice. And then they fight. And
she's the shadow.
Yeah. They fight. And they do that thing where it's like, oh, who got shot?
Yeah, I hate
But
this.
they immediately reveal who got shot.
I wish it was her dad.
In fact,
and then Jonathan Banks kills her.
Yeah.
That's how it ends.
Puts her into human trafficking.
You just see him like unload 3 bullets in her head, and she just gets empty eyes.
Because they're tussling, but the light is projecting a shadow on the wall that she's apparently watching.
Yeah, not doing anything.
Not watching the actual fight.
Oh my!
Which she'd certainly be privy to.
She's
watching
popcorn.
the silhouette shadow boxing going on, and you can actively see Jonathan Banks' head jerk when the gun's fired. So he's the one who got shot. I mean, obviously in general.
Maybe he's excited.
And then they cut to it, and he's dying, and they're like, why would you have done that if you're not even going to go through with it? And he dies, I guess. So the client guy gets released from jail, and he gives George Peppard $11,000.
Bob Dishy.
Yes. And George Peppard immediately gives the $10,000 to the bookie.
That is there.
Who's in this house.
With his crony?
Yeah, and he goes, hey, there's a game tonight. It looks good. And he goes, I might be there,
Shut up. Don't talk about this in front of my daughter.
Yeah, and then the daughter's like, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going to move out. I got a lead on a house. I just don't think we can live together.
Seems like it would be fine to live with him. Maybe he's plowing some chicks, but she can just live there.
I mean, she could live there easily for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And so she goes to the house, and the lady's like, I'm not going to rent to you. Slams the door on her. And then she sneaks in, and George Peppard is having a chat with her and the kid. I knew you were involved. And he goes, I just want you to live with me. She goes, okay. But I got rules. And they get into her car and drive away.
What fucking rules does she have?
Don't tell her what to do.
Don't eat after midnight. Don't spill water on her.
She doesn't clean refrigerators.
Is that really on her list?
Yeah, because he goes, clean the fridge. And he goes, well, I don't either, so we're even or whatever. How did he get there? Because
days go by, water flowing under?
They get into her car and drive away. Did he walk to this?
I don't know.
Are they going to have to go back for his car?
I don't understand their roommate agreement, though. Like, she wasn't raised by him. It's not like he's trying to father her. He's just like an old guy you live with. But you are maybe have like a warm feelings towards each other.
Well, and it turns out that whatever happened, why ever he left, he had been trying to make contact, but the mother was sending back all of those gifts.
I mean, whatever, though, dude. Hey, Dad, fuck you. You can fly there. You're her dad. You can get some time with her. Hey, I'm pretty checked out, but I send a gift once a year on your birthday or Christmas.
Honestly, though, if I had stumbled into my estranged father's life and it turned out that he currently wasn't a bad guy and was also getting involved in cool little mysteries and paying me to do it too, I'd be perfully fine with that. Julius? We good.
Sounds great.
He left me when I was 3, but we good.
Are we doing this?
I think so.
Why don't we? Can we be PIs together?
We could.
Can we? Do you want to still do your job, but then also somehow we're private investigators?
Yeah, why not?
Boy, this is a real dirty trick. This is a shitty ass episode.
I mean,
did you talk about Robert Longstreet?
Oh, so he's the fucking Shaft.
Longstreet.
Yeah, he's the assistant director when they do the car crash.
Is that a made up name? Do you think Longstreet?
I don't know.
He probably gets real mad if you suggest that.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Would you accuse Stephen Pillow of having a made-up name?
Yeah. There's a character on the Perry Mason show called
John Gunn.
Hamilton Burger. So they
call him Hamburger?
They call him Hamburger. And it's Andy from Weeds.
That's pretty much cast.
Longstreet.
Yeah.
He's the assistant director.
Yes. He's got a couple of lines.
Mr. Starling, the stunt's all set up. We're ready when you are.
He touches Jonathan Banks at one time and he goes,
You ever take your hand off of me? And yes, I am, buddy.
The shots are always far away.
Yes.
There's no close-ups of him.
No, and he's ribbing them pretty good. Take the damn donut out of your mouth.
You fucking loser. We got to make this shitty movie everybody derides.
Yeah. This fake Green Hornet movie that we're making.
But he does kind of a good, I'm going to try to be a hard ass too. Like, he's got that vibe.
He's fine.
Longstreet. Yeah. And then he looks upset when something happens. I don't know. He's like, huh. No, does he makes a face?
Take the donut out your mouth and direct this damn thing. And he goes, okay, sad places, please. And then they do the thing, and he goes, all right, is everybody happy? Yes, Mr. Starling, I think we got it.
We got it. That's a wrap, folks.
And then he's taken out back and summarily executed.
They kill him? I missed that part.
For being too cool.
Did you love this episode?
I actually thought it was fine. It just was too long and very dry at parts.
Did you like this more than The Class?
No, because I do like a good whodunit, and The Class is kind, that.
There was a mystery. This one, you immediately said Jonathan Banks.
Well, because they show him.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Columbo.
Yeah.
They show you who did it. So Jonathan Banks, the ex-wife still had the guy's keys to his car. So he takes the car, drives over there, strangles her, and then drives away and smashes the car. And that's kind of clever, but it's not Columbo clever.
Now, excuse me, Jonathan Banks. I got just one question. Let me clear something up.
One more thing, if you don't mind. Because Columbo, he could never quite... he obviously knows the answer immediately, but he's never quite able to actively pinpoint what's going on until he knows what's going on. In this one, it's a fairly straightforward crime. But they did a Mrs. Columbo spinoff. Shut up. They did with...
I know, we talked about this.
We did talk about this. So maybe
I'm so sorry that I said shut up.
It's fair,
I thought you were going to do it again. I thought we were going to go down the Mrs. Columbo rabbit hole.
I'm glad you stopped me because I couldn't remember Captain Janeway's name. I don't know, man. It's. I kind of would have been interested to see this show.
What?
Now, but... I would never have watched it back then. I never watched Matlock, so I wouldn't even have known it existed. But
Well, they would have to like Weekend at Bernie's peppered.
yeah, I mean, it's fine.
I give this shit like a 3.95.
Really?
I hated it.
I gave it a 4.72.
Okay.
I didn't hate it, but it wasn't much. I mean, if you're going to do a fucking spin-off, man, you need guys on drugs jumping off of buildings. You need Keith Gordon with a fucking ponytail. You need a guy who dresses like a Native American.
Yeah.
You know? And you need hot interpretations of Welcome to the Jungle. You know, this had none of that. Matlock is such a fucking old man show.
But he's smart. He does the Columbo thing where he's like, I'm just an old man.
I'm just asking questions.
But listen, I got you pegged, motherfucker. Get to rights.
But I'm extremely polite about it.
Yeah.
You know?
I got that southern charm.
And it's clear that they were trying to do that with George Papard in this, but...
What'd you think about old Robert?
Give him a 7.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a 6 this time.
Okay.
Through no fault of his own.
I thought he delivered his several lines fairly well, and I believed Bradford.
I didn't appreciate his scenes being at the end of the episode. Because you know what happens when their scenes are at the end of the episode or the end of the movie?
Yeah.
You go, fuck, I think I missed it.
I haven't been paying attention.
I've been staring at this screen hardcore.
This 360p resolution is really...
I better rewind it and rewatch all the scenes. He must have just been moving around.
I didn't do that.
No.
I just watch it.
Yeah.
And then if I don't see him, then I
play
Google
it off. Be like, hey, Jason, that's
and then I text you like, I totally saw it. What did you gave him a 6?
6.
Yeah. There you go. That's Matlock.
There you go. All right. That's our first episode on Robert Longstreet.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually we'll give you some more information about him because we didn't bring anything to the table today. Do you know anything about Robert Longstreet?
No, I don't really.
No? You're a big fan, though.
No.
He's my pick. I like him.
He's fine.
He's got a weird collection of films coming up.
It's an interesting pick because at least with... When he's... Oh, should I talk about
What
this?
the fuck is wrong with you?
No, I should
That
talk
might be
about it.
coming in 2024.
There are certain actors that I'm just familiar with, so that if they were in a bit role like this, I don't know, it would almost be more like, oh, look at that, you know? But I'm not... I mean, the only thing I'm familiar with Robert Longstreet immediately from...
Midnight Mass.
And one of the Manor movie shows. I think he's on there.
Haunting a Hill House.
That
I don't
one.
think he's not in the Bly Manor one.
Isn't he? What's the other one? Haunting of Hill House?
Yeah. We'll see you next week with...
I'm done. There's no next week.
Getting In.
Yeah.
The Christy Swanson, Andrew McCarthy movie.
Yep.
With Robert Longstreet in a starring role?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, no line.
He talks.
Does he talk?
Yeah, quite a bit. You can check it out on YouTube.
Maybe I didn't actually see him.
I don't know how you
And I
miss him. He's
attributed
an
him-
actual character that they interact with substantially.
He's not the guy reading the book?
It's a newspaper, and they wrestle and talk.
Oh, that's him?
Gives them money for the newspaper?
I thought he was the guy reading a book in the cubby when she's pushing the cart.
No.
Oh, God. Well, I guess we'll
Wow.
get to the bottom of that.
Go ahead and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube. We doing filmographies. Check us out on Twitter, the wonderful Twitter. Do filmographies. Email us at wedoingfilmographies@gmail.com.
Yep.
Jules.
Yeah.
You can call voicemail. What's the number?
763-267-4020.
You're thinking of Transylvania 65000.
I am.
763-634-1897. That's 763-634-1897.
Exactly what I said.
Are you the chosen one who will leave us our first voicemail?
Yeah.
Is it you? Could it be you? I think that's the song.
If you leave us a voicemail with your name and mailing address,
We'll
I'll send
call
you
you.
$10.
Oh, shit, really?
In the mail.
The first person, though, because
Yeah.
up to like 2 or 3 people hearing
Right.
this could be trying to get that money.
Yep.
That could end up being $30.
It could bankrupt me.
We are also part of the Now Playing Network.
Yes.
You can head over to nowplayingnetwork.net and
Mhm.
find a collection of shows that are better than this show, although this show is pretty good. So yeah, check out their shows.
Yeah.
All sorts of good ones. Final Emergency, Tracks of the Damned,
Yep.
Directors Club.
Overhated.
Also the Projection Booth,
Yeah.
not on the Now Playing Network.
But check it out.
They had all the Keith Gordon interviews.
Yeah.
They're fascinating. Jim does them too on the Directors Club. All right, I don't know. This is meandering as fuck. See you next week. Bye.
Yeah.
Keep it crispy. That was a weird
Keep
sound.
it 100.
That was like a Vader.